Hello everyone, my name is Krystle and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a new year on my channel, and I want to say this is going to be my 4th or 5th year of doing YouTube, which is insane. But today, to start off the new year with a new video, I'm going to have my winter TBR for you guys. I flip-flop back and forth with making TBR videos, but I find that the more I make TBR videos, the more I don't stick to my TBR that I pick for the month. If I do it quarterly or by the season, I feel that I get a little bit more books in, or I have the opportunity to switch things up a bit and be a little bit more of a moody reader, as I've been so much so lately. It's been crazy how much I've been wanting to just kind of start books and not finish them. I can't even tell you how many I did that to last year in 2021, hence why I haven't done any type of 2021 best and worst books of the year, because I read a lot of mediocre things last year, a lot of things that I DNF'd, and a lot of things that I started and did not finish, that I didn't feel that those videos would be of great quality if I did decide to do them. So I decided to just start fresh for the new year, and hopefully I have a great reading year compared to last. I did have a lot of personal things going on last year that kind of hindered my reading a bit, so that could definitely be why I had not such a great reading year last year. But I do have a lot of books here, a lot of fantasy, and a lot of out-of-the-box style books for me personally with my reading taste. I'm noticing my reading taste changing, and last year I think was proof of that. As I said before, I started and didn't finish a lot of books in a genre that I'm just not feeling my place in anymore. And that's okay. Sometimes that happens. But I do have a lot of fantasy here and some romance to share with you guys today of what I want to be reading in the next coming months. So without further ado, let's just get into that. So in this TBR video, there's a couple of fantasy books that I want to actually get into, and fantasy series that I want to get into this year, and that being the first book in, I don't know what trilogy this is, but this is Robin Hobb's most well-loved fantasy series that is just well known on booktube right now. I feel like a lot of people are reading it, and I need to know why. This is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and this is the first book in the trilogy, and I want to read this whole trilogy this season, this winter. I'm going to try to. I know that they're pretty quick reads, so that might help me in that aspect. So I can't wait to pick this up. This is a character-focused fantasy, so it's not so much about the journey as much as the characters and their personal journey, from what I've heard, and that's why it's so well loved, is because people get so attached to the characters. So I can't wait to find out more about this series very soon. The next I have here a current read of mine, and that is Vesper Teen by Margaret Rogerson, which I am absolutely loving this book already. I am like a quarter of the way through right now. I love Margaret Rogerson's writing. I love her standalone. She only writes standalones in young adult fantasy, which I really love, because sometimes you just don't want to take on a whole series of books. But I believe this is going to be a first in a series. I'm sure her publishers have talked her into writing a series finally. But I really do just love her writing. This is a story about a convent of nuns who are able to control spirits of the dead and kind of harness them, but also they have to be careful themselves, because they themselves can become possessed by these spirits. That normal people cannot become possessed by these spirits, but only these nuns who have the power of the spirit harnessing ability. And it's kind of like a war. It's such an interesting concept. So I highly recommend you pick this up on your own and read it on your own, because it's something that I feel hasn't been done before. But our main character, she actually was possessed once before and had to have an exorcism performed on her. to rid herself of this spirit, and since then she has become a part of this convent, and she has been doing this work for the dead spirits and like kind of just keeping them at bay so a war doesn't break out. It's such a pretty setting too. I mean, I love a good gothic setting, and this just is so perfect because it takes place in like dark, foggy cemeteries, and there's incense burners and crows and owls and like things like, it's just such like a perfect winter read too. It's so dark. I really love this book so far. So like I said, there is a lot of dialogue in here, I will say that, compared to her other books, which I felt her other books were kind of lacking, was the dialogue and the relationship part of the characters and getting to know them a little bit more. So I think this is going to be a very well-loved book if more people pick it up. So not only is this a TBR video, I'm recommending this book to you as well. Another current read, which is my buddy read with Bianca at Belladonna Books on Instagram, and we're on our third book of this Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. This is Escaping from Houdini. This is like solely based on like a traveling carnival on a cruise ship going from Europe to the US. It's a really awesome concept, and tarot cards play a huge role in this book. So yeah, I'm loving it. I feel that these books can kind of be read separately because they deal with separate like mysteries to be solved and murders to be solved, but you'll kind of lose out on the relationship, you know, of the people in the story. But I'm really loving this book so far. Interesting. I love this whole series so far. I really have nothing bad to say about it, except that it can get a little drawn out in certain parts. They can be, I really feel like these books can be a little shorter. They don't have to be as dense as they are, but they go so quick. I will say that. They go, before I know it, I'm reading 100 pages. It's just a really cool concept. And I have my tarot card on the inside of this book as a bookmark. I've been using tarot cards as bookmarks a lot, and it's pretty enjoyable, I have to say. I've been liking it. So yes, this is on my list, and then if I finish this, which I will very soon, Bianca, I'm going to finish it. She always reads it so quickly, and I'm always like, I'm behind. But I'm halfway through, so I'll probably be done soon, and then we could pick up the final book in the series for the winter. And I have a book here that I read recently, which was part of my winter TBR, but I literally ate this book up. I could not stop. I was up all night reading it. Justin was like, are you good? And I was like, no, I'm not. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Oh my God. I felt like such a teenager reading this book. I felt my high school self again. All the things that I went through as a teenager, the angst, and the fact that like I can relate to Ryan so much in this book because she was kind of a loner, even though like she was well known in the school. She just felt so alone, and people that you think are your friends aren't your friends. And I went through that so hard in high school because I just wanted everyone to like me, and they didn't. At least they just didn't feel like I was a part of their, you know, groups and things like that. And to be friends with everyone and not just like a certain group of people. And that's just who I was. So I really felt myself in this, besides some of the other stuff in here that happened. But oh my goodness, this book wrecked me. It was so good. Love it so much. I already started Credence by Penelope Douglas, and that is my next read by her. I think I'm going to just read all of her backlist titles. I'm obsessed with her writing, and everything about this book is just amazing. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, but it could very well be a 5-star because I'm still thinking about it days later. I'm still thinking about it. So yes, this is my TBR that I finished. This is my first book that I finished for the year already. It's now January 4th as I'm filming this. And I started Credence. So Credence is my next Kindle read. And by the way, if you want to get into Penelope Douglas's books, A lot of her books are free on Kindle Unlimited if you have it. I've been really taking advantage of my Kindle Unlimited because I can't buy any more books this year. I'm done buying books. So I'm just trying to read what I have or gifts that I got for Christmas. So Kindle is where it's at right now. Plus I have nowhere to keep books. This is like my little corner in my bedroom at my parents' house right now while we're moving, trying to move, and it's just, I have no room for books right now. So Kindle Unlimited is where it is at. Okay, next book. So the next book I have here on my TBR is The Witch's Daughter by Paula Braxton. Now this is kind of like a historical literary fiction. They say women's fiction, but I just hate that. But it's witchy fiction, and I just love that it is a period piece, takes place, I want to say it's in like the 1600s, and it does incorporate pagan holidays, so Imbolc and things like that. So I feel I could really relate to these books. I really enjoyed Paula Braxton's Little Shop of Things, I think it is. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. I had received an ARC from the publisher years and years ago, and I loved it. So this is the type of historical fiction that I like, when it's solely based on witchcraft and paganism and all of that, because I'm into that. I practice witchcraft in that way. I observe a lot of the old pagan ways in my life. So these books I just really relate to, and I just enjoy them. So I'm looking forward to getting to this. They're great reads for the winter as well. So this is a first in a series, I think. I think there might be 2 or 3 books in this series. And then I have here Madame, and this is by Phoebe Wynn. This is a debut novel, mystery thriller, dark academia, take place in a boarding school type book. Looking forward to it. I have heard very mixed things about it. It's really in like the 3-star mark on Goodreads, so I'm curious to see my opinion on it, because a lot of the mystery thrillers that everyone was reading 5 stars last year, I DNF'd and put down because I couldn't take it. For Your Own Good, did not love it. So yeah, so I'm curious to see my thoughts on this. It takes place in Scotland, which is one of my favorite places to read about as well. So there you go, picking this up this month. And it sounds like a good winter read as well. And I have here the Stacks of Strange book club pick, and that is A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw, which I'm sure you are seeing this all over booktube right now. This is like a magical realism mystery thriller book, solely based on folklore from what I've understood, what I've heard people talk about. So I'm curious to see what it's about. I follow Shay Earnshaw on Instagram, and as she was, you know, writing this book, I was seeing her stories and the things that she was posting of where she lived. I think she lives there. I don't even know. I don't know if it's Colorado or somewhere up in the mountains, but lots of nature surrounds her, woods surrounds her, and I just love that. So I'm curious to see the atmosphere in here, if she took a lot from her personal atmosphere of how, when she was writing this book, where she was living, and put it into this book, because she just writes atmosphere like no one else. I love her books, and this is her first adult novel. Next I have here a witchcraft book, and that is Scottish Witchcraft, and this is by Barbara McAlee-John Free. I have been wanting to read this for a while, and my friend Bianca was sending me like her list of like things that she was reading, and I was like, I want to read that too. So we might buddy read this together. But this is just, you know, a little bit of insight onto Scottish witchcraft and paganism and just ways to live, kind of, to kind of spruce things up a bit in my witchcraft practice, which I've been just kind of doing here and there. I've been falling off the wagon, so I feel like this will kind of bring a little bit more excitement to my life for witchcraft, because I've been lacking in that department. I haven't really been doing much, but yeah, I need to get back into it. And Scotland just reminds me of the winter, and I just feel like this is a great book to pick up during the winter time. If you are into any type of witchcraft, you know, smaller books are nice to get into. This way you can kind of get little bits and pieces, little drips and drabs of where you feel you belong in the witchcraft world. It's a lot of reading, and it's a lot of learning, and it takes years and years. It's not something that you learn overnight. So I'm constantly reading and just trying to figure out my way. And there's no perfect way. It's your way. So I have here a big one, and that is Wizard and Glass by Stephen King. This is part of my Winter TBR. I've been trying slowly to make my way through this series. My problem with this series is that I just don't love the characters. I love Jake, but like not on like a level of like love where I'm like excited to read this book. So I actually have been reading the audiobook for it just to see if maybe I will enjoy it a little bit more. It is a great series so far. Like after reading The Gunslinger, I didn't know if I would continue to read the series, but my friends have pushed me to read the second book and I loved it. A lot of weird dream sequence, like a fever dream sequence in that one towards the end, a little weird. And then the third book I really enjoyed, especially with Blaine towards the end, and I really enjoyed a lot of whimsicalness this series brings. It's very strange. It's like anything that Stephen King like came up with in his brain, he put down on paper, like in a fantasy novel. Like it's just weird. Like he calls like these townspeople pubes, and like it's just like it's just such a weird series, and it's a weird cast of characters, and they're all so different from each other. And I think that's why I'm not feeling a connection. Like I just don't get it. You know what I mean? So everyone says Wizard and Glass is their favorite book, so I'm gonna give this one a shot, and if I don't like it at the end of this one, then I don't think I'm gonna finish the series. So far enjoying it, but we shall see. Need a little coffee break. Now this is gonna be a long-ish like TBR video, I feel, because it's a couple months worth of books. I have two series here that I would really like to get to, and that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This one I think I'm gonna pick this one up very soon. Oh my god, the smell. The reason why I got the smaller version, I'm gonna be honest, is I don't know where I would stack those huge ass books, but also the smell of the mass paperbacks. It's just quality, guys. It's just pure quality. If you know what I mean, if you're a book lover like me, you know the smell that I'm talking about. Yeah, I had to. I don't know why, but I just had to. So yeah, The Way of Kings is the well-loved series. Everybody loves the series. Everyone loves Brandon Sanderson. I need to be on this bandwagon, and I need more fantasy in my life. Like I've said previously, the horror genre just hasn't really been working for me in the last 6 months. So fantasy has kind of been where my heart's at, and whew, you gotta pick this baby up. And it's a brick. It's a brick. The girl at the bookstore when I was purchasing it was like, can I just see how many pages that is? She's like, because I want to read it too, and I just need to know. She's like, oh, wow, over 1,000. Yup. And then next year I have The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, which I did start, and I'm about 100 pages in. I'm just slowly making my way through it. I just don't know, like, should I stop reading? Like, should I just finish this one before I read The Way of Kings? I don't know, but I need to read both of them in the winter. I need to read them before March at least. So you guys let me know in the comments what your opinion is on both of these. If I just should stop reading Eye of the World and just start The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, or just finish this and then start The Way of Kings. I'm a little bored of this, not gonna lie, but at the same time, I'm getting like Lord of the Rings vibes from it, which I'm enjoying a little bit, but I just don't, I don't know. I don't know, but let me know what your opinions are on that. Then I have two books here that I've been reading, well, wanted to read. I have Nora Roberts, and this is Dark Witch, and along the same vein of Paula Braxton, this does have a little bit more steamy romance scenes in it, but this is just a well-loved series that I've heard so many things about that every witch needs to read, and it's just, you know, witchy fiction, witchy romantic fiction, and I'm eating it all up. It takes place in Ireland, in castles, and in the winter, so it's a very like romantic winter read. I'm enjoying it, and I'll probably be done with it very quickly. It reads so quick. I was reading a little bit this morning, and I'm on 50 pages already in a half an hour, so it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Everyone that I know that has read this series loves it, so why not? This is my first Nora Roberts book. I own a lot of her books, but I haven't read them, and I really want to know why she's America's favorite writer. Everyone talks so highly of her. She has so many books. She also writes under the pseudonym J.D. Robb. So the amount of books that this woman puts out into the world, it's unremarkable, and I need to know why. And so far, I kind of know why, because 50 pages went by very quickly while reading this book. And then I have a favorite author of mine's book, and that is Sarah J. Maas's House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City, book 1. The second book is coming out in February, so I want to reread this because I don't really remember a lot. I've got to be honest with you. When it first came out, I just ate it up so quickly because I didn't want any spoilers to hit me in the face on booktube. So I read it and I don't really remember a lot. So reread is happening for this. If anybody wants to buddy read this with me, let me know. I'm not making any promises though, because I'm a slow reader when it comes to big ass books like this. But yeah, I need a reread of this book. Lastly, for our book of the month for the Horror in 24 book club, we are reading Tender is the Flesh, and we were originally going to be reading Dark Matter by Michelle Paver, which I didn't really do my research on before like making it the book of the month, and I didn't realize that it was like that unavailable for everybody, and even for myself, I didn't realize that I couldn't just like get a Kindle version of it somewhere, because I'm on a book buying ban. I can't buy any more books. So I was looking for it, and there really wasn't anything available for her book. I think it's only published in the UK right now. So I apologize solely for anybody who has purchased the book, but it seemed when I did the poll, a lot of people weren't going to participate this month because of how unavailable the book was. So we decided to change it, and we had you guys vote, and you guys voted for Tender is the Flesh. It was definitely like a close call with Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates, but Tender is the Flesh is like a cannibalism book. I think it's like animals start like going bad or something, like the meat starts going bad and we have to start eating people or something crazy, and it just sounds intense and like whoa out there. It is available on Scribd for free, audiobook wise, and physical like ebook wise, and it's on Kindle Unlimited for free as well. So if you would like to join us this month in reading it, our discussion will probably most likely be January 27th, which is a Thursday at 7 p.m. over on Marcy's channel. So everything will be linked down below. If you don't follow the Horror in 24 book club, please do. We read horror at least once a month. I'm going to try to start incorporating a little bit more indie authors on there as well. So there might be an indie read every month as well going forward. So if you are an indie horror author, please send us a DM on Horror in 24 with some of your info so we can kind of feature you on our page. That is it really for my like definite TBR for the winter, which will be from January to probably March. And I will be reading other books in between. I have a bunch of cozy mysteries that I'd like to read on my Kindle, and I will talk to you guys about that. I'm going to be doing a little bit more vlogging, reading vlogging. I'm also going to be doing a little bit more of a current read situation where I will update you every couple weeks of what I've been reading, what I read, things like that. This way you guys know what's up. I've been just kind of laying low the last couple months, and I know, I'm sorry I haven't been here. It's just life has been crazy and reading wasn't my #1 priority, and I've been here, I've been watching everybody and their videos, and you all have motivated me so much. Sometimes you just need a break, you know, and the motivation is back, and I'm feeling a lot more relaxed and excited for the new year. That is it for my TBR for the winter time. All of my social media links are linked down below, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. If you are new here, if you waited till the end of this video, since everybody's been kind of doing this thing, please just leave me a blue heart emoji. This way I know that you watched all the way to the end of my video. And also my Amazon wish list is linked down below in case you want to, you know, gift me anything for my birthday. My birthday is January 13th and I am going to be 34 years old. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know where the time has gone, nor do I feel 34, except when I have a lot of aches and pains when I get up in the morning. But other than that, all good, right? That is it. And on that note, I will be talking to all you guys soon. Bye!